Happy Friday, everyone. My name is Trav. This is Quantic. Together we are Web3 Matters. And yeah, once again, it's Friday. I love it. Here we are. This is our favorite time of the week. Quantic, why don't we start off by digging into how your week was, how you're feeling today?
I like the way you start this episode, Strav. It feels like going to, having some sort of counsel or therapy or something, how was your week from the point of view of how are you feeling? And I'm feeling quite all right, mostly driven by the fact that I had some time to take off and zoom out and look for things that were not working well and things that I'm really motivated to keep building. One of them, of course, is what we are doing with Web3 Matters and the shipyard community, for which we have good news today.
And that is, I am so excited to share that news here. But so stay tuned. We'll get to that very, very soon here. In the meantime, hold up. There we go. Totally lost my train of thought there for a second here. Yes, no, it's thank you for that. Thank you for saying that about starting off the live streams here. That's besides obviously the part about delivering value every single week. Our next goal is to also be real. We're not putting on faces, we're not pretending to be someone who we are not. So what better way to do that than to tap in, see how everyone's doing here. Speaking of which, welcome to everyone who is here with us now. We already have people piling in on all of our socials. It's a great to be able to be here with you to have these conversations here. Let us know how you guys are doing. Drop a comment below. We'll love to give you a shout out live on our stream here. So, in saying that, we've got a couple things to cover today. We've got some pretty wild news stories to chat about here. Things that have been trending in AI and crypto. So we'll get to that ASAP here. And then, most importantly, let's acknowledge one thing. The title of our stream today is Revealing Something New. So, why don't you give us a quick teaser on what that means there, Quantic?
Yep. I can walk you through that real quick before we go into the news section. By the way, if you're watching this on any platform, especially on X, please give retweet, relike, and comments and all that, because we found out that we have some debusting on some of our accounts. I didn't took any hit, but certainly the Web3 Matters account and Traps account have taken this hit. So it's extremely important for us right now that if you're watching this, you help us with more visibility and engagement, because we need to sort this out. Now, what are we going to reveal today? Something that we're going to be building from now on, right? As you know, we started the shipyard a couple of months ago. We have our token ship, and ever since then, it's been ups and downs to try and navigate the best way to build an ecosystem and utility for this asset and distribution and all of that. It's been quite interesting with some challenges and surprises. However, today we're revealing what I think is going to be the ultimate app for us and for our community. And this is, of course, like a teaser level, nothing like a proper launch or anything, but I think it's going to be of interest to the people that are watching this. Why? Because, we learn a few things while building this, and I think it's going to be something that you might want to take those lessons with you if you're a builder or a creator, because I can tell you right away when something is going to work but require work, and this is one of those things. But that's a good thing, I would say.
Agreed. Agreed. Absolutely. If you want to, especially if you want to do it the right way. Obviously there's the formula for the pump and dump schemes, but for building for the long term, for actually being able to give back to a community of holders, that's a whole other thing, especially if you want to do it over the long, like in a sustainable way, something that's not going to burn you out, something that's not going to last for months. We want it to last years. We want it to last for as long as we plan on hosting these live streams, which in my opinion is a very, very long time because I love doing these things here. So excited to dive into that. And from my own perspective, Quantix showed me the UI today, and man, it looks awesome. It looks really awesome. Yeah, you've been doing a ton of vibe coding these days, Quantic, and like some of the stuff that you've come up with has been incredible. Any quick, just you know, tips or thoughts that you want to share with our audience? Anyone who might still be on the fence of, do I start to vibe code or not? Like, what's been the biggest takeaway for you?
Yeah, so I'm gonna walk you through how the process goes, like in terms of like, when we talk about vibe coding, first is get this started and trying to do something and probably it's not going to work, right? But then what do you do next? And this is what I want to discuss today, which is like, how am I approaching things? You have to take into account that even though I'm technical, I have like zero time to code anything for anyone on any context. So if we're talking about launching a product now for our community, you have to realize that I'm going to be doing that from a very special place. And that place is like maximally optimizing how much you can do on a short time of on a short period of time, and that means how to be effective and go straight to the point. And I think that that's the main thing that you can get as one of the takeaways of today.
Perfect. Very excited here. So let's quickly chat about our schedule for today. So, of course, we want to go over these trending news topics here, dive into that, share some opinions, share some facts, and then of course, we want to go into this new app that Quantic has built for our ship holders, for our ship community, and yeah, of course, if anything comes up from our audience in the meantime, we are actively monitoring comments, we are actively monitoring chats. We will love to engage with you guys here. So feel free to jump in at any point. So, Quantic, how does this sound to you? Should we start with the news or shall we start with the app? What do you think?
Since people today are coming up a little bit later than usual, let's start with the news so that when we have that critical mass, we can share about the app.
Perfect, perfect. Let's do that here. So, definitely been an interesting week this past week since our last live stream here. And of course, for anyone who missed our last live stream, we had an incredible conversation with Ashton from Neptune Privacy about the whole quantum computing issue and its potential impact on Bitcoin. If you guys want to check out the replay, it is on all of our socials. So feel free to go check that out and let us know what you think here. By getting back to our news stories here, the first one is an interesting one. So let me know what you think about this there, Quantic. One of the 11 people who founded OpenAI just walked across the street to join Anthropic and nobody saw it coming here. So essentially on Tuesday, this gentleman, Andrej Karpathy, who is the co-founder of OpenAI, the guy who ran Tesla's AI division, basically the closest thing AI has to a rock star, like no joke, posted a one-line update on X. He said, "I've joined Anthropic." So we started this week on the pre-training team, the team building the next Claude. This is the AI equivalent of LeBron leaving the Lakers to join the Celtics mid-season for any of our basketball fans out there. Anthropic is now valued at roughly $900 billion, dollars, closing the gap with OpenAI fast, and they just keep poaching the best minds in the industry. Ross Nordine from XAI joined them earlier this month. Nicholas Joseph, also ex OpenAI, is running the team Karpathy just joined. So the talent war isn't a war anymore. It's a one-way drain, and the direction is Anthropic. What are your thoughts on this there, Quantic?
So I've been following Andrej Karpathy from a long time from the LLMs. Um, and yeah, like he's obviously a rock star, probably the main figure and the creator of the concept behind vibe coding. And one of the people that I look for when it comes to learning about how to be more efficient with AI agents. And the news is not super surprising given that the company itself was founded by another ex OpenAI member, and they are supposedly more concerned about security and all that. So I guess that makes sense. Bottom line, we shall see. I want the credits, the token, the price of those AI tokens to go down. That's the reality of it.
No kidding, no kidding. Because yeah, I know from my limited experience, the you go through those tokens fast. It's no joke. seeing that little
What are
wheel
you
at the
using
bottom.
right now, Trav?
Right now, I'm using primarily Claude. I have not dove into OpenAI. Well, ChatGPT and Codex. I haven't really done much on that. I've only ever vibe coded through Claude.
Yeah, because actually OpenAI, um, I don't have the exact data here, but it's proven that you can get more with Codex essentially. Meaning, if you compare Cloud Code against um, Codex in terms of like building something and how many tokens are you gonna burn, or how many tokens you can use for a fixed rate, like the $20 subscription, whatever, Codex wins.
Okay, gotcha. So this is what's interesting here as well. That's actually probably a really good segue into our next news article here. So essentially, Google just made ChatGPT Pro and Claude Max look ridiculous in terms of pricing. So they cut their top AI plan by 60% in a single move. So here, let me pull up the news article here so people can follow along. Where am I going? I've got so many freaking tabs open right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. Here we go. Screen. Here we are. Can you see that all right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So at Google I/O this week, the company dropped a pricing grenade. So the AI Ultra tier, which was $250 a month, is now $100. 5 times the Gemini usage of the $20 Pro tier, 20 terabytes of cloud storage, YouTube Premium thrown in, plus early access to Gemini Spark. They also scraped daily prompt limits, or sorry, they also scrapped daily prompt limits across every tier, and it's a compute used model. A text prompt costs barely anything. Video generation costs more, refreshes every 5 hours, which is wild. So this is a direct shot at OpenAI's $200 ChatGPT Pro and Anthropic's Claude Max. So heavy users come out ahead. Google comes out ahead on mixed use accounts, and the rest of the labs now have a pricing problem. So yeah, that's that. Do you think that's going to directly affect the pricing of Claude and ChatGPT? I mean, that's a huge undercut in price compared to the other 2 major platforms. What do you think? How do you think that's gonna affect everything?
That's a great topic of discussion, Trav, because essentially there is a lot of meat around this topic, so we can debunk that once for all. So first of all, who's using these higher tier plans, right? Those are companies and entrepreneurs, right? Solopreneurs, indie hackers, whatever, right? Regular people like yourself and I, we're not paying more than the $20 uh, subscription. Why? Because in order to go higher, you really need to have a very specific purpose, meaning building something that you can monetize, right? I mean, I'm lucky enough that I have some AI credits here and there, so I can rely on that to build what I need and be very careful about my AI token spending, right? And be very efficient. We're going to talk about that, by the way. Um, but the vast majority of people is like, $20 a month, that's enough, right? So what is going to happen is that the people that are on this stage, they don't care about any of this stuff. What happens with the indie hackers, the entrepreneurs, of course, those guys are on a race to go to zero, and the market long term for intelligence is going to get cheaper. We all know that. However, though, we also know that right now what's happening is that for $20 a month, we can build a bunch of stuff because it's being subsidized,
Mhm.
meaning that honestly, is BC's monies right now are covering all of this. So that's not going to last forever. We have this window and we have to take advantage of it. I haven't tried this. I'm probably not going to do it because it's $100. But I think that if you're an entrepreneur or you rely heavily on this, definitely you should try these kind of things.
It makes a ton of sense. That's a huge savings. That's yeah, 60% of a cost savings. I think would be very enticing for a lot of solopreneurs out there here. The massive corporations, probably not. They're probably just going to use whatever's most efficient and going to, save them more money or generate more income for them in the long run here. But yeah, I think there's still a huge population of people who are going to take advantage of this for sure. And I'm very curious to know if and how much OpenAI and Anthropic will react to this in the coming weeks here as well. So let's place a bet. What do you think there, Quantic? In the next 1 to 2 weeks, do you think you'll see a response to this from Anthropic or OpenAI?
I think we will see a response to this in the next couple of weeks or even days. It can happen at any time because they are on a competition. You have to understand that these are networks right now that provide intelligence, right? And the networks that captures the more users is going to win, and that means they have to do all of these types of tactics in order to become competitive, and that's good for us. So yeah, I'm expecting this to keep happening. I don't think this is a big news, to be honest, because it's just gonna continue to happen.
Perfect. Excellent then. So the next story I have is actually a bit of a pivot to Bitcoin here. So I figured let's get back to our roots a little bit. Let's make sure we're covering a little bit of crypto here. But we're definitely going to stick to the higher level stuff that's going to affect the entire ecosystem. So the next topic, and this one's really interesting here. So SpaceX just admitted they're sitting on $1 billion Bitcoin stash and they have more Bitcoin than Tesla. So on Wednesday, SpaceX filed its S1 with the SEC, the paperwork that comes before the largest IPO in history, which is going to be wild. So buried in that filing, they had over almost 19,000 Bitcoin worth about $1.45 billion dollars at current prices. So they bought it for 661 million in 2021 and just sat on it quietly for years. So the on-chain trackers had them pegged at around 8,000 Bitcoin. They had more than double that. So SpaceX now ranks among the top 10 corporate Bitcoin holders on Earth, more than Tesla, more than Coinbase even. And the IPO could raise $75 billion dollars at a valuation of nearly 2 trillion Quantic. 2 trillion. Listing is in June and their ticker is going to be SPCX. So, in just first of all, as a bit of a response, so definitely hit save on this one. When SpaceX hits the market, every public equity investor in the world is going to get a crash course in corporate Bitcoin treasury. That is one thing for sure. And whether they wanted one or not, nothing in this is financial advice. Let's just start by that. And I don't know if anyone, because I remember back in the day there, Quantic, I started before I got into crypto, I was doing a little bit of stock stuff here, and I tried to participate in some IPOs, some new like stock launches of different companies here, and I would not recommend that to anyone here. It's the volatility is insane. Usually the price is way overvalued at first and then drops pretty quickly and then kind of settles and then slowly goes up over time. So trying to get in right away for anyone who's new and looking to take advantage of this, from my own personal experience, I wouldn't recommend. Again, not financial advice. Quantic, what are your thoughts on all this?
So first of all, I think that this is huge, right? You have to distinguish when a news is like just garbage or looks great and it's not, but when from something that is actually, you know, signal. What is the signal here? SpaceX is probably the most important company in the world. Like, I mean, that can be kind of subjective, whatever, but everybody knows that SpaceX is going to be tremendous. That's the reason they are going to be doing this IPO at an incredible valuation, right? Everybody knows where things are going with regards to this. It's not like, we're expecting a surprise or whatever. And what we're seeing now is that they are holding a shitcoin of uh, Bitcoin, right? And that's massive because it means one company that is going to dominate most of the market in many regards is going to hold their Bitcoins, supposedly. I think that's the nuance, right? If they keep those Bitcoins, it's massive endorsement for the entire Bitcoin economy and for anyone that is outside crypto to pay attention to this, right? These are not these are smart people, right? But the question is, what are they going to do with those bitcoins? I hope they put it to work via Flare once we launch with FBTC and they can get some yield. I'm kidding about that,
Oh,
but I think it's interesting, and the amount that they are holding is not a minor thing. So it would be noticeable if they decided to do anything.
okay, that's some hot alpha there. I did not realize that's something that Flair was had in the works here. So do you want to just tell us a little bit more about that? Can
Sure,
I
Trav. I'm,
probe?
I'm surprised because we're friends for about 3 years. I've spent 1.5 year already almost at Flare, but you still don't know exactly what Flare is all about. It's about putting this idle capital to work. We probably you don't know because we always talk about XRP, right?
Yes, yes.
And you can get yield on your XRP. That's the big news, right? And we talk about that because there is several billions of XRP that is not moving. But Flare is created to bring more assets than just XRP. It has a general system called F assets that you can utilize to bring Bitcoin and other non-smart contract asset and platforms to actually get some yield into some EVM DeFi. So Bitcoin is probably going to be one of the biggest ones for sure.
Okay, that's fascinating. Thanks for sharing that here. I'm just gonna pull up the Flare landing page here for a second. And one thing I'm gonna do is at first I wanna fact check you real quick here. We've actually been friends for 5 years now, not 3 years, which is that's pretty crazy. I remember you sent me my first DM. I believe it was the end of 2021 or end of
You
2020,
are
early
right.
2021, which is
You're
wild.
right.
And so yeah.
Look
So go ahead.
how old am I getting that I know that, and then I was saying 3 years, which is like clearly I'm not making progress with time, right? I'm stuck in the past here.
Clearly, let's give you a bit of a reality check here. This is
Yeah,
2026, and
yeah.
the world's a dumpster fire here. So welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, what else do we have here on the news, or should we move forward already and talk about what we are building?
Okay, well, let's see here. Why don't we share one more story? We've got a crypto one, and then we have got another AI one. What do you think? What here? I'm curious to know. Do we go crypto or do we go AI?
I don't want to decide that way. Can you give me the headline and I'll decide based on that?
Okay. So, here we go. So for the AI one, so Klarna just put $100 million or 100 million products inside ChatGPT. And the crypto one is Trump signed an executive order putting crypto on Fed rails, which is a little ominous here. And that one has actually um so anyway, sorry, yes. So those are the headlines. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go with the Bitcoin one because the other one I have no idea what it is.
Okay, so the Bitcoin one. Let's chat about that. So let's pull up the screen here. We'll pull up the headlines. Oop, there we go. So much. This is the one thing that bothers me here about news sites these days is there's so much advertisements all over the
Oh
place.
yeah,
But I digress.
I find it incredible that you have AI and you don't ask Cloud Code to just go grab those news and create a PDF for you so that you have all the bullet points.
Because I never even thought about that. That's brilliant. I
Yeah,
would love yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Create a PDF for me. There's a little bit hot piece of alpha right there as well. So let's get into
yeah.
it. So Trump just signed an executive order that could plug crypto companies directly into the Federal Reserve. I want you to read that again, Trav. Trump just signed an executive order that could plug crypto companies directly into the Federal Reserve. So let's dig into this. So on Wednesday, while everyone was looking at the SpaceX filing, Trump signed an executive order mandating the Fed conduct a 120-day review on whether crypto companies should get direct access to the reserve bank payment services. So direct access to the same payment rails the biggest banks in America use. If this goes through, Coinbase, Circle, Kraken, they stop being outsiders begging banks for accounts. They become part of the system. So the Clarity Act is also moving through the Senate with over 100 amendments, with Warren leading the resistance. So stablecoin yield is the friction point. Senator Loomis is calling the latest compromise the culmination of months of hard work. So this is interesting. This isn't crypto getting regulated. This is crypto getting integrated. Two very different things. So again, nothing here is financial advice. This is an interesting one. My first reaction to this is what's the catch? Because this sounds almost too good to be true, perhaps. But I'm suspicious. What do you think there, Quantic?
So this is the thing, again, to separate the signal from the noise, which is whatever law of the current administration is trying to push on the crypto side, eventually is going to pass, right? Um, I don't know all the details at this stage because it has changed a little bit. However, it's going to pass. That's a fact. Now, what's going to happen is you will see two types of company. One that have been doing lobby for this to pass, have been actively supporting and have been funding and are aligning with this as fast as possible. And then you have the rest, right? Which whatever. Um, and what's going to happen is that those companies aligning with this, those are going to win big because they're going to become the next fintechs. And it's as simple as that, right?
100%.
They will embrace all of this. They will support everything following this narrative, and they're gonna get more users as a result of that. Why? Because the vast majority of the world is not in crypto. It is outside of the crypto system. How they're gonna get into the crypto system through the most trusted party that engages with the mainstream narrative, and that's this.
Makes a ton of sense. The one thing that already is not sitting very well is the fact that this is going to massively benefit centralized exchanges, which, on the one hand, I'm feeling like in terms of mass adoption, which of course is something that will raising sea levels, raise all ships sort of thing here. But I'm still very much a decentralization maxi as opposed to a centralization fan, and not your crypto, not your keys, not your crypto and stuff like that. Anyways, we won't go down that rabbit hole. But I am cautious of the fact that these centralized exchanges are going to be the ones benefiting from this to such a high degree at first. And I'm just curious to know what
Yes.
the implications of that will be as well.
Yes, and you know what, Trav? This is a perfect segue into what I want to share today in regards to Ship and the Ship app and all of that. Because this is what's happening. Let me share my screen here real quick. Entire screen, this one. So what you have on the screen right now is the prototype of the app that we will have for ourselves and for our holders and for connecting with all of us, right? And why would this be connected to this Clarity Act and what you mentioned about what's happening with crypto going into this direction, which is centralized exchanges and whatnot? This is what's happening, Trav, and you can see it everywhere if you look at the data, which is we are right now on a situation in which crypto is mature enough so that we go on the direction that the biggest forces want. And there is one main force here driving adoption, which are institutions, right? And these institutions, the vast majority of them, they are not here for the cypherpunk uh, values or whatever that means or decentralization. It's just business, right? And they can do effective business with stablecoins. So this is where things are going. Fintech-like applications using crypto rails and forget about everything else. Now, what happens with all the crypto people, with all the crypto native? they go into only two possible directions. And I want people that are watching this to pay attention because this is going to play out exactly like I'm sharing here, which is there will be one set of people that are going with whatever Vitalik and the people that are pushing for privacy and decentralization and the cypherpunk values are, right? So that's one thing that is always going to remain, I would say, perhaps more niche, but with a lot of good opportunities to buy like good tokens and create good businesses still, and have certain level of adoption, which is going to be small. And then you have the people that are going full into the community, gamify, entertainment area of crypto, which does exist, and there is a big market to that. You can even argue that NFTs were a part of that, and that's where actually we come in. What do I mean by this? Is that the Web3 Matters community, the Shipyard community, and all these initiatives, they're a small subset that are pushing into this direction and targeting people and users that are interested in this. Why? Because I believe as we make progress with all of this institutional adoption, there is a lot of people that are going to be left out, right? But they have talents, they have money, they have different interests, and we need to give them a platform and we need to give them a voice. And the way we're going to do that is by connecting our efforts from the shipyard and this whole initiative and idea with this application that you can see on the screen, which still doesn't have a name, by the way. I'm going to pause here to ensure everything is clear and to ask you if you have any ideas for a cool name for an app.
Ooh, okay. First of all, everything is crystal clear. I need to gush once again over how awesome this looks, Quantic. This looks so clean. You nailed the coloring. I'm like super fired up that this type of green is the green for our brand here. Green is my favorite color for anyone who may not necessarily know. And this type of green is just wonderful here. This looks so awesome. It's so clean. It doesn't even look like it's one of your classic AI generated UI UXs. It's phenomenal here. So hats off to you on that. In terms of a name for it, hmm, I am so uncreative and it's so hard for me to think of new original ideas. Um, so nothing is coming to mind right off the bat here, but we can do a Claude. I can ask Claude. What do we think? Maybe we'll get Claude into the conversation.
Yeah, we can do that, but I would say at some point what we want to do is also ask the community because we do
Mm,
have to acknowledge here one problem that we have and that we need to solve. And I think I do have a solution, which is we are currently on this downtrend and we have been kind of stuck in this level around 25K when it comes to the token adoption and distribution. So what I think we should do, Trav, is strengthen the relationship with the people that are already supporting us because A, those are the ones that are holding this chart right now. B, there is a lot of people that are not online that we don't even know that I know are participating on this one way or another because I have some information from people that are bringing from the outside world, right? From people that are in crypto, bringing people from outside with small amounts, $20, $10, whatever. So we need to connect with those people in a more meaningful way. So I think going forward, we're going to start building more and more with the opinions and drive it by inputs from the community itself. Right now we have also here our front page. Yeah, I think I'm going to go back only to the app. So first of all, Trav, what do you think about this idea? Perhaps we can have a small bounty. Doesn't mean necessarily that we have to fully, be guided by that, by whatever the community says, but at least we will have another input, right? So we can have a small incentive with a small giveaway with chip tokens so that people can give ideas of how they want this ultimate app for connecting with the community be named. What do you think about that?
I think it's a great idea. I'm actually, as we speak here, I'm opening up Pump and I'm going to purchase those ship tokens right now. so that we can have that on standby. And to our audience here, let us know. We've got a bounty open for the best name for this new app. Let us know what you guys think. Drop it in the comments here. Send us a DM. Engage on any of our socials, and we'll be selecting a winner for next week. So let us know what you
Right.
guys think.
Yeah, and while you do that, Trav, and we're gonna check that out on the charts, by the way, I just want to explain what this app is all about and how we're gonna improve it over time, why you should care if you're listening to this. So essentially, we have discovered that a lot of the work that we do is just finding useful resources, useful information, useful reports, um, free, let's say, databases that can help anyone that is in the world of crypto or the AI space, working with agents, trying to become a better creator, trying to leverage these tools to grow as an entrepreneur, as a person, as a creator, so that you have these things at hand, right? And we have been given a lot of this stuff for free. However, we're going to stop doing that. We're going to give those stuff only to people who hold our token and start connecting with us through this app. So this app, you can see it as a sort of central hub of our entire operations. So we're going to add here a way to verify if you're holding the tokens. Then we're going to add a feature to say, hey, what is your rank based on the amount that you hold, right? So that you can get access to other things that we are creating, that we are doing. Perhaps Trav wants to create a mini course on how to create videos like a professional editor, right? Let's remember that Trav, we have a lot of value to share here, right? Trav is a professional video creator, right? You are also a professional host. You host interviews with founders from different places, right? And you get paid for doing that. So people obviously some people would like to know how that works, right? So you can package that knowledge and give that to our holders here, and only to them, provided that they have provided a certain amount of tokens that are locked or whatever sort of gamified experience that we want to create. This is out for us to decide, by the way. Right now, this site is like only verified here and is not fully deployed on, let's say, on the web. So you cannot interact with this. Well, actually, you can with this link here that is not available all the time. It's just something that I asked actually my Hermes agent here, oops, to create for me, which is like I'm byte coding this, but I'm doing it in a way that we go step by step with all the components here. And I ask them to give me, for instance, the current link to our front end, which is what you're seeing on the screen. And I'm also having an admin panel, right? So let me click here
Wow.
on the admin panel, which is not working right now because this link is temporary. So let
Mhm.
me ask my agent here, hey, the link to the admin panel is not working. And so my agent is going to fix this right away. As you can see, it's typing already, and I'm going to show you here the result so that you get an understanding of what happens behind the scenes. Because what we want is to have a panel for us, for Trav, myself, and the people that are building alongside us to add these resources, these reports, these databases, these videos, all of those nice materials that we're going to be creating, prompts as well. We're going to put it there for holders, right? And this is already prototyped and it's almost ready to go live. I would say perhaps by next week we should be ready for people to actually test this. We need the name though. We need to figure that out. And all of this has been built by Hermes, actually. You're right.
Wow.
The previous tunnel did, I was returning, blah, blah, blah. I restarted. Now it has new links, right? So uh, it has checked that it works. This is amazing because the AI agent does everything for you. Okay, so here we have the admin panel. So if you're a user, you're never going to see that. But for you, Trav, this is relevant because here you can put here your admin key, and you're going to be able to, put the title, put the description, and add the file, right? I'm not going
Unreal.
to try this out now because I need to try it out with you first, Trav. But this is
Mhm.
essentially the experience that you, Trav, as a creator, are going to have, right? So let me explain again the vision here, which is once we have enabled a system that is compelling, that works through an app that you can have on your phone, in which you can see content that is unlocked by having our token and having your rank as a member of the community, you can at some point think about participating and get a share of the rewards as well. Because of course we're going to be incentivizing all of this with our ship tokens so that people can participate, win on certain contests, provide value, and perhaps even upload their own materials, and perhaps having some sort of marketplace as well.
That's all of this is incredibly exciting here, and this that first of all, I just want to comment. I think that's pretty amazing that you have the control over this through Telegram, and that's how you communicate with Hermes to make changes on a third party site, third party app is through Telegram. Like that's wild here. But then in terms of the actual, the project itself, the work itself, I'm just really fired up that this is going to be another tangible, practical way to give back to our community here. It's like we've through hosting live streams, through hosting spaces now for 5 years, as we established not long ago. It's like we have been accumulating knowledge, we've been accumulating skills this entire time, and we've kind of just been sitting on it. Yeah, we've been repurposing a lot of it into content, which is available to everyone here, but it's like you said earlier before we jumped on this live stream, it's really all about how you package it. And there's some really practical ways that we can do that to give direct value to our amazing holders who have been with us since day one of ship creation here. So yeah, no, I think this is a great way to do that. And this really kind of lights a fire under our butts here to get this going, but then also start packaging that that value so that we can get this process going of
Yeah.
giving direct utility to the holders here and giving back to our community. So really excited here. This is awesome. What are we looking at now here? This 40 million ship.
Yeah, so let me walk you through that, and then I'm gonna walk you through the process of creating this app so that anyone can replicate this. We're not gonna open source the code though, because it's gonna be our primary app for providing value to our stakeholders.
Mhm.
But we're I'm gonna share exactly how I built this. What is it that I did? So first of all, what are you watching here? What I did is just a read-only feature that is on this application, in which I share the wallet address that potentially holds SHIB tokens, and in return is telling me how much is on this wallet, what is their rank name, what is the tier badge that this member should have, and what is the manifest role, which it gave the name Perm Harbor Pilot. Now, I didn't create all of this. It was optimized by Hermes itself, in the sense of creating the most meaningful, engaging uh, community that you can have if you're going to have a relationship with your holders through an app. That's the thing that I optimize it for. So what I did now is actually share that screen share with Hermes and say, hey, what is really this? Because I honestly don't remember of all the features and all the things we taught in order to get this. This took some time to get it built. It wasn't like, hey, build an app for holders. That wasn't the prompt. What I did was to have a very long conversation with Hermes, explaining where am I at as a creator, as a builder, what am I trying to build, what am I trying to achieve, what are the hurdles that I faced with building this community, and what can be done really, because I don't know. Like I have this community. What is like the main killer app? The result from Hermes was, you know what? Based on your description, you shouldn't be building something for other people. You shouldn't be building something that solves XYZ problem. You should be building something that solves a problem for yourself and for your holders. And that is having a central hub in which all the utility and all the community needs are fulfilled so that everybody can converge on the same app, right?
Mm.
And that's essentially the process that I follow to create this. So let's read this real quick here. Let's see. Let me put it big. So what each part means: access, unlock the app, found a non-zero ship balance for that wallet through the Solana RPC. Uh, it's a read-only check, like I mentioned. You don't need to connect your wallet at this stage. And then you have a holder rank percent in top 100%. This is misleading right now. So it found a bug, right? The app is trying to compare the wallet balance against Solana's whatever function. If the largest holder lookup fails or returns incomplete data, the current fallback makes the wallet appears as one and top 100%. So do not trust this rank yet. Balance verification is the meaningful part. So as you
Mm.
can see here, the evaluation of Hermes itself on the app it creates, it can find bugs, it can find things that need to be improved, and it's going to be completely honest and transparent about it, right? This is a key thing to keep in mind, because now what I'm going to do on another section is ask it how to fix that, right? Then you have the tier batch crew, and then you have the manifest role, Pump Harbor Pilot. And this is not a real on-chain role at the moment. It's just a deterministic fund identity generated from the wallet address using the manifest role list. Same wallet should get the same role cabin each time in your screenshot. Main issue I would fix: the dashboard is showing some beta demo logic too confidently. I would change it to say something more honest: balance, keep as verified from RPC, rank, show, whatever, percentile, high unless valid, and tier based on the balance that it has right now is not a fake percentile. Yep. So, this is the process of working on bytecoding a real app that you can put on production. Of course, one thing that I have to add here is that at some point, I'm actually going to use another thing that we have created in the past and it is already live to have the security check. Before going live, we have created an app that is going to tell you, based on a GitHub profile and link, what's everything you need to take into account from a security point of view. So before going live, what I'm going to do is paste the relevant GitHub link to this app and get this app fully scanned for security checkup, right? This app is called ShipGuard. It's already live. If you go to the shipguard.vercel.app, probably we need a new domain. So if you're watching this right now, you want to tune into this and you want to try it out, because this is effectively a tool that you can use for production ready code after you have done your security checkup.
100%. And if you're watching from X right now, you can go to our Web3 Matters account, Web3_Matters, and it is in our pinned post. You can you can check out Quantic's post for that. It's a nice long form post diving into exactly what ShipGuard is, and feel free to take advantage of that here. That's free to use, always will be. And yeah, not only does it give you a security check, it gives you a list of things that you can do to improve the security as well, which is awesome here. So yeah, no, I'm really excited to get this rolling here, Quantic. I think this is a long time coming, and it's great that we have this in the works to be able to really start to participate more with our community, build our community to be stronger, and empower you guys to actually benefit by becoming more capable people here, and lots to be excited about. So just before we kind of move on here, if you guys do have anything specifically that you want to learn, that you want to understand better, let us know in the comments here, and we'll definitely start diving into that here. Because that's one faded skill here we really need to lean on. Is I think the best skill that we've been able to kind of you know maybe hone in on in the field that we're at is from hosting live streams, from hosting spaces, from connecting with guests and stuff like that. It's the but also, of course, the fact that you're a PhD. holder. You know, I've gone through several or one degree in university and all that stuff. So needless to say, we're very, very good at researching and learning things. So happy to use that skill to benefit you guys here as well. So if it's anything you guys want to understand, want to learn more, let us know and we will make that happen for you here. So any kind of closing thoughts on this topic of conversation here, Quantic? We are about 5 minutes to the hour, so we will be wrapping it up soon. Any kind of final thoughts or anything you wanted to share about this unnamed app that is coming to our holders here very, very soon?
Yeah, I want to learn more about like your personal commitment to this mission, right? Because essentially I'm gonna be taking the lead on building the features and all of that. So I wonder, how do you see yourself on all of this, right? We already do a little bit of research here and there. So I don't know, what are your thoughts? How do you see your involvement and your contributions into bringing this to life so that it actually solves a problem for you? What is a problem that you have as well? Two questions there.
Oh, that's a really good question here. I mean, my first reaction to that question was, um, I see myself. I think this is a great opportunity to um, organize my brain. I think that to actually be able to take all of these, all of this knowledge, all of these skills that I've learned, put it together in one document, and then expand on that to where it can get to the point to, be something valuable to give to our community. I think that's going to be of immense value for myself as well. And I kind of see that as the first part of my role in getting this app to launch here is starting to get those value packages together to deliver to our community here. But in terms of a problem to solve, um, I'm gonna have to
But
think
that's
about that.
that's the curious part. Like you're literally answering the question of what is the problem that needs to be solved for you, right? Because like we have discussed here, we have been doing this for a while, but it doesn't have like the proper packaging or format for us to really make the most out of this value that we are creating and providing, right? Right now with this app, what we're gonna be doing is directing our efforts so that it is very concrete what you will get, right? These reports, these studies, these prompts, these sources of alpha, whatever, and you have a problem, which is you are diving throughout the week trying to find gigs for yourself, trying to go about your personal life, and trying to do this that involves multiple things. One way we are talking about Bitcoin, the next week we're talking about this app, the next week we're going to be talking about AI agents. And this helps you stay focused and knowing what you need to do. And you already have a sort of flow, right? Because uh, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is more or less your flow right now, which is like we do this live stream each Friday. So for each Friday, we have a new topic that we have researched, perhaps some guests or not. And on top of that, after that, you have some post work, which is creating the clips for having the content throughout the week, and then adding to that now a newsletter, right? So now you add to that packaging the most important thing on a report with some prompts, and then you would upload that to the app, right? And then you're creating a mini product each week in that sense. And it's giving you the solution to your problem, which is the organization part and the focus
Mm.
itself.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's definitely the problem. You absolutely said it here. So in that and just being able to optimize the rest of the flow that I have here as well, like we were chatting about before our live stream today, kind of taking those tasks away, those that do, consume the most amount of time. And yeah, freeing up more time to be able to dedicate to things like this here, I think is the big problem here. But that makes a ton of sense. Yeah, organizing my mind, organizing my flow to just be as efficient as possible when it comes to packaging the value, as they
And
as
just
you
so,
say.
so that you know what to do, because I think it feels to me from the time that I've known you that for you, it is really, really helpful to have like structured things, routines, things that you know you have to do. You know that after this, probably you're gonna be clipping things with Riverside, and you do that consistently, and it works amazing. And thanks to that, you have done like great progress on social media and with your brand and all of that. And so now you can share those tools and you can use something that we are building for yourself, right?
Makes a ton of sense. Also, shout out to Riverside. Appreciate you guys and all the work that you do. Yeah, no, that absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I will be going to doing the clipping, doing the transcript from this, putting together the newsletter, making sure that we can ship that by Monday. Also, quick sidebar: if you guys are interested in checking out our revamped newsletter, link in our bio in our Web3 Matters account here. It's called Growth Bites, and once
Yes.
a week. Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. I actually look. I'm done talking for today, actually, and I want to give you the space because this is the other thing that we're going to be able to improve through this whole initiative of kind of centralizing our efforts through this app and these resources that we're going to unlock only for holders. Um, that you can share more about the things that you're working, because right now there are things that you're doing to create enormous value that go kind of unnoticed, right? Which are, from my perspective, perhaps I'm wrong and there's even more. First of all, the newsletter, we get very few posts, if anything, about this. So I'm going to
Mm,
correct this with our social media manager. Second, your efforts on YouTube. I don't know how many views we have now. It's like crazy. It's been growing like crazy, right? And the same
yeah.
with TikTok. So those things, not only deserve more visibility, but it can bring you better results if you bring that visibility. And to bring that visibility, you need to be connected on one flow that actually helps you go through all of this. And remember that you have to showcase that. So the last few, let's say 5 minutes, if you can show about the newsletter and your work with YouTube, I think it would be amazing.
Yeah, 100%. Let's get right into it. One exciting thing on YouTube here is we are 2 videos shy away from our 200th video posted on YouTube here. So that's super exciting here. We have just crossed 55,000 views, which the most of those views are from the last 2 months or so since we've the last I got how long has it been since we've really been pushing YouTube again here? Probably about 2 or 3 months here.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun. Um, so that's been going really, really well here. A lot of experimentation with different topics, different SEO, different titles, different styles and stuff like that. And I think I'm really narrowing into what works best for us. Definitely stay tuned. I'm pretty optimistic for our next week. I'm hoping that we'll hit record views on our YouTube account here. And then have some really exciting things coming for TikTok as well. Hoping to be able to go live on that platform as well. Actually making some good connections and got some really, really good strategies on how we can start boosting things there. That is also really exciting. And then in terms of our newsletter here, yeah, it's just we've published our third one this week, our third edition of our newsletter this week here since rebooting it. And again, just that ongoing process of receiving that feedback, making those tweaks, and trying to make each and every single one of them better and better. But one thing I learned from that is kind of the main strategy behind our newsletter is the idea of just taking what we spoke about and putting that into written form, but in a way that is super easy, super fast to read, but is valuable. It's actually stuff that will benefit our users to read, and that in itself shows me how much value we really do deliver each and every single one of our live streams here. So yeah, just kind of repackaging that, reframing that has been such a cool and such a rewarding process here to do that because yeah, we've really stepped up our game over the last couple of years, especially now that most of our live streams of Quantic are just you and I talking about stuff. Like I'm very, very impressed. Actually, on our YouTube page, I'll end off by saying this. One really fun thing is we actually have from way back in the day here. Let's maybe I'll pull up I'll share the
That's great, man.
screen here.
Because people cannot see the newsletter, cannot see the channel, and I think it's a good moment to showcase more of this. We've been very humble about it, and we're now at a stage in which we really need to involve everyone and push this harder.
100% here. So yeah, like our stream our shorts here are all well, anyways, this is our landing page. Let's go to our videos and let's scroll all the way back to some of our initial videos. So our first video was published 3 years ago. And this is this topic. So basically what I did here is I took our YouTube space and I screen recorded it and then I uploaded it to YouTube. So whenever I click on this, you'll actually see.
Hey, good morning, brother. How you doing?
I don't know if you guys can hear this, but this is
I think
one
it's a
of our
great way to start.
earlier,
Let's definitely do that.
our earlier actual spaces with you,
Wow.
me, and then we've got Bruce here. You remember Bruce? That's like
Yeah, I
way
re-
back when.
way back.
And
That
then
those are the
Amaya,
old days for me.
yeah, this is like we actually had 69 people tune in, and this is only about halfway through the space here. Or no, that's the total because the space is over here. But
You
essentially,
know what we should do, Trav, is try and find those that had like hundreds and even thousands of people tuning in. Because I remember, for instance, we had NFT God. Not that
yes.
many people know that. Alex Finn now, we had him sharing around those times in which he was doing like all of this advanced research with Dune and all the alpha. That was a very good space. And I know that we have a couple like that throughout our times, but we haven't, we're not building any leverage out of that. And there is some value into going back to these spaces and just tuning in. Perhaps there are even some startups idea, who knows?
Absolutely. Yeah, here's a fun one. This is when we had Chill Pill, we had Coach, had a bunch of people in this one here. Was this one of the ones where no, I don't think this is where Alex joined us here, but yeah, that's one of the many, many spaces that we had where I had a bunch of big names chime in here. That one was a blast here. But yeah, you're right. I feel like there's somewhere. I may even have the one with Alex um saved in a file somewhere. I feel like I made sure to really make yeah, to hang on to that one because that was a huge one here. And I was actually thinking about testing my luck. I'm not sure if that's something that we'd be able to connect with him again, but it'd be cool to get him back on one of these live streams here to have a conversation about AI because he's fully pivoted from crypto to AI again. Um, but essentially, getting back to my main point, and I'll end off with this here is the fact that, going back and listening to some of these old spaces that we published way back when compared to the conversations that we're having now, it's night and day compared to the preparation that we put in, the value we deliver. It's not just asking questions to our guests anymore. It's actually coming up with the content and talking about it ourselves. While I do very much want to, continue to host guests because I think there's immense value there as well. I think that just something that we need to recognize and be able to exactly give that back to our audience here in a practical way.
Absolutely, Trav. So to wrap it up, so that people are all aware, what are we revealing today? We were revealing our ultimate app, you can call it, or everything app, which is for us. The way we did this is to actually build everything with agents, providing enough context. What was the context was like everything that we do, everything that we stand by, and how we can solve a problem for ourselves and for the people that are supporting us right now, which would be our holders, right? And the AI came with this idea of creating like a sort of holders app, which is like community driven, but also oriented towards doing it for holders only in the sense of if we have these resources that we are creating, we're going to give this to the people that are actually connected in this way. And we're going to start building from there. That was like the recommendation actually. And we did everything with Hermes here. I don't think there is too much value to showing you the actual process. I think there is more value to letting you explore on your own because this is unique to our case, right? To our problem. And again, we didn't came up with the idea. We don't even have the name, but we have the solution, and we know now that it works for us. So it's going to work for you as well, because it's actually solving something that we needed right here, right now. Anyways, I think this is a good segue to wrap it up. I don't know, Trav, if you want to share some final call to action or some final thoughts. On my end, I'm very happy that we're taking this direction. Next week, we will see if it's already live, and we can try it with perhaps some of the insights that we learned today.
100%. My final call to action is if you guys do have a title idea for this ultimate app, this everything app, let us know. Either drop a comment, send us a DM, comment on any one of our posts. We are paying attention to all of them. And the winner, there is a ship bounty. So the winner will receive a nice bag of ship tokens and our eternal gratitude here. So definitely make sure to participate in that. We know you guys are incredibly creative. And yeah, it's just one of the many ways we want to start or continue to give back here. And yeah, closing thoughts here. No, I think I think you really did well in summarizing everything. That was perfect there, Quantic. Once again, just such a great way to end the week here. Really enjoy our Friday live streams here. The really interesting news topics we covered today in crypto and in AI. And yeah, no, actually, let's just go back. I'm just curious to check out YouTube. On X here, we have 70 people watching us on the Web3 Matters account. We've got 8 people watching us on my account here. So I want to thank each and every single one of you guys who are tuned in here. We actually have one person watching us on YouTube. So grateful to you. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you gained some value from this. And on Pump, we've got a handful of people watching us on Pump here as well. So appreciate every single one of you guys. Definitely, yeah, stay tuned for next week. We'll give you guys updates on this app. Hopefully it will be live at that point and we'll already have some valuable content there for you guys to tap into here. And in the meantime, we will be seeing you guys on the timeline. Stay tuned. We'll be giving shorts updates on our Web3 Matters account and our YouTube account here and TikTok actually. So make sure to check out all of those. Links are all in basically all of our bios on all of our socials here. So if you guys want to cross pollinate, definitely check that out. And that's it. My name is Trav. This is Quantic. Thank you guys for joining in here, and we will see you guys next week on our Web3 Matters Live. Take care.